Hello, once again, people of America, my brothers and sisters. Um, Today I decided I'm going to do another video because it's important that information get out about what's really going on in this land. I'm going to take you back today to the beginning of these assaults. Going back, everybody who have been around for a while, say 40 years old, or my age, or between, I guess, 40 and 50. Kind of difficult to talk about, but I talk about it a lot because it have affected my life in many ways. But everybody remember Rodney King. Rodney King was the brother who was beat up by the LA police, and I think it was 1991. I believe it was 1991, probably around March, if I'm correct. I'm not for sure. But after that, it sparked a riot. It sparked a riot because the world was able to see the police at work doing something that they have been doing since the beginning of them forming the police. Anyway, a year before Rodney King was assaulted, I was assaulted right here in the city of Flint, state of Michigan. I was shot 5 times by the police here in Flint. I remember going to court. I remember the prosecutor, the state and the city prosecutor, arguing my case at the same time, doing a preliminary examination. And she was concerned that if this information get out about what these police did to me, she said it would have a chilling effect on future investigations of this type, talking about police shooting. Well, those documents didn't get out. And I have been paying attention, keeping up with a lot of the shootings, because every time I hear about one of my brothers or one of my people, it don't have to be this race, but when I hear about how the police have shot somebody and murdered them in cold blood and get away with it, they continue to get away with it because, as they argued in my case, if these documents get out, it will have a chilling effect on future investigations of this type. Well, I'm going to give you some details about some of the things that happened because I have the injuries in my body that will contradict the report that the police made. And they were able to come to court and testify according to the report they made, even though the evidence didn't match up with the wounds on my body. For example, I was shot 5 times, but I remember being in the backyard of Adams Street. After knocking on doors trying to get help, I made it to a chain link fence. in the backyard of Adam. And when I made it to that chain link fence, I laid my arms over both sides of that fence because I was using that fence to keep me on my feet. I didn't want to lay down because even though I was drinking that night, I knew that I would have bled out had I just laid on the ground. They would have let me bled out. So I hung my body over this chain link fence. A few minutes later, I hear a police radio coming up from behind me. And I hear this radio getting closer and closer, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to be all right. They're going to get me to the hospital, and I'm going to be all right. I'm going to make it. I was holding on to that, I'm going to make it. And as I heard this radio getting closer and closer, I heard a boom, a blast, and my body jerked forward. And I hear one of them hollering, I got him over here. And then he tell his partner to hurry up. And they grabbed my legs and threw me over a fence. At that point, I passed out. But even though I was passed out, I watched them. I had what they call an outer body experience. And I watched them drag my body over to a pile of wood. And when the ambulance and thing came, they drug me out of the pile of wood and they put me on a stretcher and cut my clothes off. I couldn't open my eyes and I couldn't say nothing, but I heard everything that was going on. They thought I had passed away. But when I got to the hospital, that's when I felt that spirit enter my body again. I grabbed the officer with my right hand and started spitting on him, asking which one of y'all bees shot me. As I felt myself losing my grip on his tie and shirt, he was trying to peel my hands off. I used that leverage and I peed all over him. And when I woke up again, I had tubes everywhere. Kind of found out later, Officer William Kelly, he wrote his report, and I got his report. I still have his report from 1990 where he described how I jumped the fence, extended both arms toward him. He feared for the life of him and his partner. He took aim with his shotgun. He fired one time from his shotgun. He described me staggering for a moment and laying myself backwards, lying face up. That's his report. I have it. The problem with that report is all of the holes are in my back. How can I be facing you with both arms extended toward you? You shoot me, I stagger and lay myself backwards, lying face up, and all the holes are in my back. They sent me to prison. They gave me a 12 to 20. They sent me to prison for it. After they got on the stand and the judge, everybody know they were committing perjury. There were 64 of them lined up with their blues on. Now, I'm about to go to trial again next month. They bound me over for trial after I was pulled over on January 2nd, 2019. I was pulled over right next door to here. This is my mom's house. I was about right back where that truck was. See that truck behind me? The police pulled me over right there. Michigan State Police on January 2nd, 2019. First, they said I didn't use my signal. But when you look at the video, you can see my signal on. But when they ran my information, they found out I had a warrant out for child support. No, I'm not a deadbeat dad. I got a necklace right here. Say dad. My son gave that to me when he was 7 years old for Father's Day. He's 14 now. He just turned 14. And I have wore this necklace every day except for those 6 days when the Michigan State Police assaulted me and took me to jail. Other than that, I had this necklace on every day because I've been with my son. Everybody know me, know Zachariah. So when they pulled me over and they ran my information, and they found out I had a warrant for child support, I was assaulted. But I'm gonna take you back a little bit with that too, because September, October, November, December. Okay, 4 months later, 4 months prior to this, I was pulled over on the highway. I was assisting one of the brothers. His girl was stuck in Detroit, and he asked me if I can take him to get his girl. So we were on our way to Detroit. Me, my son, his mother, and the brother, man. And I was pulled over. First, she said I was swerving, which I wasn't. She was just behind me, ran my information, found out I had a warrant out for child support. But that warrant out for child support. Anyway, when I was pulled over, she said that she was going to tow my vehicle, take me to jail, and drop everybody else off on Updike in Pontiac at a gas station, Speedway. This is at 1:30 in the morning, about 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. She want to drop my family off in the middle of nowhere, in the dark, at night, in another city that they are not familiar with. And so, to make a long story short, I end up going to the hospital instead of going to jail. And I got Officer Cynthia Wagner card that night. That's who pulled me over out of Auburn Hill. And so I had help because it was this young woman at the hospital heard everything that was going on. And she seen how unjust these people were. And she let me use a charger to keep up with my family because my phone was going dead. After they discharged me, the sister told me, I know where your family at, and I can take you there when they let my son go. So I'm sitting back there and I'm explaining to her everything that had taken place. And as I'm explaining to her, the police come back there and say, hey, you can't be back here. The sister told her, well, he with me. They told her, well, after a certain time, it's only one person can be back there. So what she did, she told him, I tell you what, get my discharge paper. Come on, son, let's go. And because she seen that it was so unjust what they were trying to do. And so she took me to where my family was after she discharged her son from the hospital. After we got to that speedway, and I went in and I hugged my son, the sister then said, I'm not going to let y'all sit out here. I'm taking y'all back to Flint. And the sister took us back to Flint. So this was in September of 2018. So January 2nd, 2019 come, and I'm right here where that truck at behind me when I was pulled over by the Michigan State Police. When the officer came to me, to my truck, after running my information, he told me to step out my vehicle. I'm under arrest for child support. Now, we're in America. And if you watch the video, you can tell they altered it. Because, first of all, I'm going to ask you a question, people out here in America. If a police come to your car and they say, get out your vehicle, without telling you why, are you going to get out? Most people are going to ask, for what? But if you look at the video, it's going to show me he opened the door, I jumped straight out. Well, the officer that started the assault, the brother, he got on the stand and testified that I was asked to get out my vehicle 2 or 3 times and wouldn't get out. So either he's committing perjury or that video is altered. It's both of them. I'm telling you what's going on. They got caught committing perjury and altering evidence. They fabricating evidence here in Michigan to bind us over to trial and put us in a system. This is a form of human trafficking, and it needs to be addressed by someone higher than these people here in the court system in Flint. I'm calling on federal investigation, the Internal Affairs, somebody, an agent to come in, because this is corrupt and it's been going on. I got documents to prove it. Also, I'm going to add that the same arresting officer, Littleson, whatever his name, this guy, I was assaulted on January 2nd, 2019. On April 2nd, 2019, my birthday, April 4th, and I had company from Detroit visiting. My son's sister and her baby daddy was visiting, and her son's birthday is on the same day my birthday. So they brought him down here, and we were gonna celebrate together, all of us going out and having fun, staying at home, having fun. So anyway, we go to the store. I had just left the house, went in the bedroom, got a little money, and left the light on in a bedroom. And we went to the store. Stores on Lippincott and Dora Highway. When I was returning home from the store, I'm driving down my street, almost home, and we noticed two flashlights coming from around the corner, going in between the houses, my house and the neighbor house. These were police, Michigan State Police. It was one of the same arresting officers that assaulted me. He had a gun in one hand and a flashlight in the other, both of them. But as I got closer to the corner, I could see the Michigan State Police car with both doors open, and all the lights were out. So this same arresting officer that assaulted me came to my house on April 2nd, 2019, walked in between my house and knocked on my bedroom window. I want y'all to think about that for a minute. Because had I been home, had I asked who's knocking on my window, and they just started shooting, they could have ran back to their car, because they had both doors open, all their lights, and jumped in and act like they were looking for someone in the neighborhood. Yet they done just committed a murder. This is what's going on, not only in Flint, Michigan, but all over the world. It's the police. They're corrupt. And they tried to murder me more than once. You know, I'll think about my lessons. And what Jesus said was that the Roman soldiers, same spirit, pierced my hands and feet with nails. And then one pierced my heart. They put me in a tomb. And then I wrestled with the conquerors of man. I conquered death. I stamped upon him in a rose and brought immortality to light, and painted on the walls of time a rainbow for the sons of men. Jesus said, what I have done, all men can do. What I am, all men shall be. We teach that the gospel of the resurrection of the dead was not confined to Jews and Greeks. This is the heritage of every man of every time and clime. He said, I am here, a demonstrator of the power of man. Peace.